What's up, cool kids? John here from What's Johnny Watching. Now, before I get started today, I just want to say to everyone out there, I hope you had an amazing 4th of July, enjoyed the festivities, the fireworks, took part in eating up all the food that was around you, and spent quality time with your loved ones, because that is the one thing that we don't get back is time. As for me, I spent it watching a lot of movies, especially this one. This is a staple in my house, and it should be a staple in yours. But today, I'm here to talk to you guys about this 4K release of Jaws 2 and whether or not you should add this to your collection. Now, before I get started with that, don't forget to hit that like button, click that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. That way I can keep bringing you more of these, and it would really help out the channel, because I like doing it, and I hope you like watching them as well. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, we all know Jaws is a classic. Nothing more needs to be said about it. Now, when I picked up Jaws 2 yesterday, I went to Best Buy. I saw this, and I saw the slipcover. So I immediately was faced with a problem. Do I pick up the Steelbook, or do I get the slipcover because, it kind of goes with this one? I went with the Steelbook because the artwork on this is amazing. I love this artwork. It's a matte finish, and you got the point of view of the shark coming after the skier, as opposed to the slipcover version. You just have, it's basically the movie poster where the shark's behind the skier. So I picked this one up, and I had a feeling that they were going to run out of these. So I just wanted to have this one. So here's the look at the front and the spine. There's the back. And on the inside, you have the artwork of just Brody holding his service revolver out on the beach, realizing he just screwed up, for those of you who have seen the film. You get a Blu-ray disc, and you get the 4K disc, which I believe all the special features that are on the 4K have been ported over from the Blu-ray. As for the film itself, the first Jaws was had a Dolby Vision color grading and a Dolby Atmos audio track. Those of you who have it know it looks absolutely amazing. It sounds amazing. This one, however, does not have Dolby Vision color grading. But they did use the HDR10, and it really works. The HDR10 color grading really works on this. The colors pop with the greens and the blues and the beige of Brody's uniform and everything. But I noticed a couple of scenes where some things look kind of fuzzy, it was waxy. Maybe they used a little bit too much DNR on it. There were also scenes that were kind of just dark. Maybe that's the way it was shot. I don't know. I wasn't there, so I don't know what the intent of Geno Swark was. But overall, it looks good. It's not as crystal clear sharp as the original Jaws. But, it looks good. This is probably the best that it's ever going to look. There were there's film grain in it, but not as much as you would think. They probably used DNR to scrub some of that out. As for the audio track, this is where I was just absolutely disappointed with this release. The first one, Jaws, had the Dolby Atmos audio track, and yeah, it pops. It's amazing. This one, however, only has a DTS Master Audio 2.0. It's a Jaws movie. You need to have at least a DTS-X. At least that. And it doesn't have it. There were some scenes where it just sounded like the sounds were just muffled. It didn't sound clear. It wasn't balanced or anything. And I have an Atmos set up in my home. There were times where, yeah, it sounded pretty good, but then it would just go away. And it wasn't as clear. It wasn't as sharp. It just sounded kind of muffled in it. But yeah, that was my only problem with this particular release itself, was just the audio. Universal could have done a much better job with the audio on this, and yeah, it needed to be upgraded at least to a DTS X maybe, or a Master Audio 5.1. Give me that. But still, that was my only complaint with it. Now, you do get special features on this, and you get deleted scenes. There's one deleted scene in here. If you've seen the film, then you know that I'm spoiling it for you. I don't care. But there's a point where Brody's fired as chief of police because he drew his gun on the beach and he shot into the ocean. You know, he could have been sued. You know, what? I think the question they ask you, what happened if someone tried to sue us? Well, they go on to fire Chief Brody. Well, the deleted scene that they have is where they're in the back office and they put it to a vote. And they ask, you know, who's all in favor of replacing Chief Brody? Every single one of them raises their hands except for the mayor. You know, that mayor who he was had so many problems with in the first one, he realizes that, you know, Brody may be right. And he didn't want him fired because, you know, of what he did the last time. I felt that scene needed to be left in the movie, but, you know, they cut it out for time. But anyway, I'm rambling. Sorry. But you also get a making of documentary, making of Jaws 2. And one of the funniest things that they said in here was that, you know, the production was almost as arduous as the original one. And if you've seen that documentary from the first one, you know, the shark is still working. No, it wasn't. Don't say that. But they talk about having to replace the director that they originally had. The director who directed this, Jeannot Szwarc, wasn't their first choice. I mean, the original director that they had to fire. They had to bring in Carl Gottlieb again to rewrite the script. But you also get a featurette on John Williams when he was making his... I mean, they asked him about making the score for Jaws 2, and it's completely different from the first one, which is good. You see a little hints of the original score in this film, but it's completely different, and it absolutely works with this. You get trailers, and you get this little 2 or 3 minute segment on, it's called The French Joke. It's where Szwarc took the film to France. And when they marketed the first one, you know, they couldn't call it Jaws. They had to do it in French. And when they brought the second one over, they couldn't say part Dieu. They had to use the word merde Dieu. And merde, if you know French, means shit. So they had to redo it, and that's what it's called, The French Joke. And you also get a little, maybe a 10-minute segment on, it's called Jaws 2, a profile by actor Keith Gordon. Now, Keith Gordon played one of the kids in Jaws 2, one of the teenagers, and he went on to do like Christine, and he was in Back to School, and he talks about his experience making that film, and you know, it helped him become a filmmaker later on in life. Really good special features, but I'm sure they were all ported over from the Blu-ray copy. So, in conclusion, should you add this to your collection? For me, you know, if you're a Jaws fan, yes, absolutely add this to your collection. If you're a 4K fan, hell with it. Yeah, go ahead and add this to your collection. I mean, it's the best it's going to look. I have a feeling if they do part 3 and that god-awful part 4 the same way, it's going to look the same like this. It's not going to look as good as the first Jaws. But none of them are as good as the first Jaws. But this one, part 2 is the best out of the Jaws sequels. And yeah, I'd pick this up and add this to your collection. If you can find the Steelbook, get the Steelbook. So, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Which one are you guys going to pick up, or if you're going to pick it up at all? And also, let me know what your favorite Jaws movie is down in the comment section. I mean, I know a lot of you are probably going to put the first Jaws, but I want to see how many people would actually put Jaws the Revenge as their favorite. Ugh. So, until next time, what are you watching today?